Dan, you're next in California. Dan, go ahead.
Hey, Roger. I wanted to call and give you some perspective on what's wrong with Newt Gingrich, because I did live through the Gingrich as a speaker and all that, and it's interesting. He is a fantastic speaker. I think he's the best speaker on the stage there. He's the most cogent. I don't know how to put this succinctly. How about this? I don't think he gets the benefit of any Republican backing because I don't think that he can win. I think I'd have to look at some polls on this against him against Obama. I'm sure there have been them. But the point is, I think he's universally hated by people who are not real right-wing. And I don't know if you've ever taken a puff off a doobie. You're not going to like Newt Gingrich one bit. You might think you're really scared of him. I wouldn't even want to be. I wouldn't want to be in a country. This is what I tell left-wingers when they're asking for more gun control. I say, "Are you sure you want to live in a country with no guns to your availability when Newt Gingrich is the president?" And then that's when they say, "Well, maybe not." You get my point?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by it, actually, because Newt's big problem to date has been criticism from the right, that he was too pro-global warming, that he was, for instance, for the individual insurance mandate for health care, back in the 90s, that he had... in other words, I get the feeling that he was a mainstream Republican conservative in the 90s and people appreciated his service, but that since then he's kind of been all over the lot a little bit and been unfocused for a lot of people, and is running here in 2011 for the 2012 election. What is that now? Something like 16 or 18 years later, is something that people haven't yet caught up to, although it looks like in the polls they are starting to, just because he has done well in these debates. But it is surprising to me to hear criticism of him from the left as being too right-wing, because the conservatives have been critical of him throughout the 2000s.
No, I'm not saying he's too right-wing. I'm saying he's willing, and what you're doing is you're adding to what I don't like about him. He's willing to violate the Constitution. He's willing to violate the Constitution left, right, and center. He was wherever he thinks is good. That's what we ought to do. I don't like the guy, and I think a lot of people hate Newt Gingrich. He's the butt of many, many jokes, and I think that he will be pretty much hated as a candidate by anybody but the most right-wing. Maybe if you only walk the tobacco and alcohol trail, and maybe if you're just completely straight, and I don't know, but I don't think he's very well liked. I'll just put it that way.
Now, you brought up the drug thing a couple of times. Puff on a doobie, and you don't like Newt Gingrich. Why do you associate those two things?
Oh, he was a definite drug warrior. I mean, his years include a lot of increases in the use of drug testing and a hysteria in this country. Hysteria. There is that drug hysteria in this country when it comes to marijuana. He was part of it. Marijuana is legal for medicine in California, yet the federal government says that there's no medicinal value. That's how they classify it. And, even heroin they classify as having medicinal value, but not marijuana. So he was a part. I paid close attention to politics, and I did not like Newt Gingrich one bit. He was essentially forcing everybody I knew to deal in the black market in worse and worse ways, to take jobs, to blow off jobs that might have been good jobs in the defense industry. All the while the NBA decided to stop testing their players for pot. They test for drugs, but the NBA doesn't bother to test for pot. Why is this? Is it because it's a performance problem? Apparently not. There is a witch hunt that's gone on in this country. It hasn't been talked about much. It hasn't gotten enough airtime, but he was a part of it, and I can't stand the guy, especially when he sounds intelligent, because it really bugs me, because he is intelligent. Like Clinton. I watched Clinton. Incredibly intelligent. Okay, probably one of the best debaters, knew more about foreign affairs than anybody I ever heard, but I hated that man because he stabbed everybody in the back everywhere.
All right, Dan, thanks for the call. We'll see what others think about all of that. There's a little mouthful about Newt from an angle I have not thought about, to tell you the truth. Oh, man.